Rosemary. Welcome to Maitri Arts and Prints. Today I'm doing some collective reads. I'm doing tarot reads today. Soul readings, if you'd like. If you'd like private ones, you're more than welcome to actually message me. Donations are welcome. They're not a requirement, though. If there's any art, if you're not familiar, if there's art that I do, I paint music. I paint souls through music. And don't mind, we do have Karma, who is a big puppy upstairs. But if there's any music that you would like to see me paint, you can make a suggestion, leave it in the comments. I have smaller canvases that you see like here that we can do music paintings on. So while people filter in or come in, I'm going to say welcome. Give me a minute. I also am going to share out, and I have 2 decks here today on the behalf of a beautiful woman named Kaliath, and we will see what oracle cards will come out from Kaliath. She's the wise old woman, or young woman, again a younger soul, and a wise woman in her years. So we are going to, in a way, we're going to help bring some messages out, right? Okay, let me come into our own page. I'm going to share to a few places. And anybody, like I said, coming in, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I do, if you'd like a reading, let me know. If you'd like I said, art. If you'd like to see some of the art that I have, even the art gallery itself, again, the art gallery, there is a link, I believe, in the comment section on here. If not, I can provide a link, but I believe you can, again, the art gallery. 1111 has some very significant art in it. You can view a lot of the art through it. I believe they do prints on there. It's all up to you what you'd like to do. And again, you can leave comments of what art you'd like to see. And I'll throw out some cards in a little bit. I'm going to also send this to a few people if they're interested. And see where it goes from there. Some of my stuff is, there we go. Anybody popping in, please say hi, and like I said, I will put out some cards for you guys. I'm going to actually share to a few groups that may be on. Trying to see who comes in, and again, welcome guys. I'm doing some readings today, and we have a lot of noise going on in the background. That's okay. Let's see, where else could I share? Okay, share to a few people. And if you guys could share out, that would be awesome, because that would help out a lot as well. Alright. I'm going to put out a couple cards. I have the telepathy oracle cards. They were borrowed, like I said, from Kaliath herself. So I'm going to share some of those out. And did a few shares. Anybody popping in, thank you. Thanks who's ever watching. If you can make a comment, let me know how the sound quality is. like I said, I have these telepathy oracle cards for messages. I'm doing this on behalf of grandmother spirit on the wisdom, the woman spirit. I don't like the word crone, but again, crone stage, the wisdom stage of this. So I did have a card pop out. These are on behalf of Clea speaking. These are decks borrowed. And right now I have a connection card. Your connection is eternal and unbreakable. So we have a connection card. I also have soul truth stuff, so I have some questions, right? Again, these are for the collective. These are on behalf of another person. Why is it about woman's spirit? Because sometimes the woman's spirit likes to speak. Grandmother speaks wisdom, right? So grandma. I'm not sure where, say hi to grandma for me. I didn't send a link to her. It's been a while. I am doing messages for other people. Also, thank you, Carol. I have these wonderful deck on behalf of Kaliath, who is the wisdom grandmother. Women shouldn't speak unless spoken to. Funny. Funny, Bucky. I know. Funny. The jokester, the trickster. So I have a connection. Your connection is eternal and unbreakable. I know you're joking. I know other people might not know. Bucky is the trickster here. I'm going to get one more card from this one and then use this other deck. If anybody has any questions, you can ask. I know Carol, you may want a read. Again, you can share out. It would help. I've shared to a few people. I'm trying to schedule these, but my life's been a bit hectic lately too, so everything's been up in the air. Alright, I'm going to just draw one out. I have a feeling this could be a funny read today. Thank you, Bucky, for the plucky comments. I have a boundary. Having sensible boundaries is important. So your connection is eternal and breakable, but it's also important for us to have a boundary that helps us not to over exude our light. Grandma is dealing with me with a head cold. Oh, I'll send her healing. I'll send her healing. I'm sorry I haven't been on Discord as much. I'm on a lot of different platforms right now, so it's been crazy. We also, okay, so we have a connection, we have the boundary, we have the sensible boundaries are important. I hope she's feeling better. Hay fever and a cold. It's a lot of frequency changing going through. I know some people aren't attuned or it just doesn't faze them, but there are a lot of frequency changing and when changing the weather too. I don't know if anybody else has noticed that the weather has been shifting earlier. It looks more like fall sometimes on certain days. Okay, so from whom can I release my judgment right now? So judgment closes our hearts to truth and separates us from love. It blinds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom we are placing judgment. Give me 1 second because I'll reread this one again because this is important. I am going to share this to one other person because this is important. So let me do that. Go back in here. So we have the two cards here. One is talking about boundaries. We have the card, again, having sense of boundaries are important. We also have your connection is internal and unbreakable. So again, the illusion of separateness. Can we switch out this sun for another one? Sure, we can. Which one do you want? Is it the 7th sun or the 6th one? The weather's extremely hot. Out, not at. Yesterday was very cold here. It went from 80 degrees in sweltering heat until yesterday was 66. And I went down to like 50. And then today it's back up to sweltering heat. So apparently Mother Nature is a little bipolar. So I have a connection and we have a boundary. This is on behalf of Goliath, the wisdom woman who sits that on the willow tree. So from whom can I release my judgment right now? Judgment closes our heart. 100. Yep, you can keep that. To truth and separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are you placing judgment right now? I'm going to say this because a lot of people place judgment, they're judging themselves because that's really ultimately, right? So is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Most people who are judging somebody else is usually a judgment on ourselves. Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. So today's soul action, look at the person you are judging as if you are looking at a small child. See them learning and growing, falling down and making mistakes. See their desire to be loved and accepted. Add even more grace to open your heart to this truth. When I lift the judgment from myself and others, I uncover my own truth. I am loved, I am whole, I am limitless, and so are they. So the connection, the internal, the boundaries. Sometimes we place boundary up because we're not able to. Some people place boundaries up, again, they don't want to be taken advantage of, but again, is it a judgment or is it your perception of it? So why does it matter if somebody does grab something from you and they run with it? Again, it's their own thing, right? But if they're going to take something, because we're in this mentality of taking in, oh, they're going to steal this idea, but if they're able to complete it, let them complete it. It's one more thing out in the world, right? I need to do. People judge themselves. Yes, they put their strain on themselves so they don't progress towards self-love. Exactly. So knowing that you're loved, you're whole, it's unbreakable, it's eternal, you're limitless, so are other people. So if they want to experience something in a certain light, let them. If they want to experience it in their own way, let them. It's valid, right? We're each valid in our own perception of things. I'll do one more from this this deck, which is I had it on here. I think it's the Souls deck. Important questions to ask a deck. And like I said, if anybody wants a reading, let me know so I can get it to update. I'm welcoming everybody that jumped in. I don't know the sound quality. Apparently you can hear me. And I don't know about why it's not updating as much, how much lag is on here between the actual camera and me speaking right now. So I'll give it a few minutes between each one. Alright, oh, this one wanted to come out. Alright, when was the last time I danced freely? You wanted to first thing that came in mind was you wanted to dance naked outside. You can go right ahead. So dance, because it will shift you into a beautiful state, because it will get you out of your head and into your body and heart. Because fear lives in the head, along with anxiety, control, guilt, frustration, and impatience. It is just a few minutes of dancing. You will make the shift. You will feel a change of joy, confidence take over, and you will feel a soul reminder to live and lead from your heart. Dancing is a tool to ground us in the now. It triggers happiness and is the gateway to freedom to become free. Dance. So today's soul action, and I have a couple of them, so put them together here. Dance for 3 minutes on your favorite song. Notice the inward fire grow within and the feeling you feel being you. You are a wild, loving force. Express it with dance today. Alright, Kitty would like one. Hi Kitty, welcome in. Have you ever wondered why we look for love in another person when we ourselves have the ability to love ourselves completely? Yes. Yep, because we're looking for something outside of ourselves to complete us. A lot of people are in this. I need something to complete me. I feel lonely, right? You're always connected here, right? Your connection is eternal, and there is no separateness. It's the illusion of it. Even us somebody putting up a boundary, it's because a person may be encroaching on how their experience is. It doesn't mean we don't love that person. It means that we are looking for how to love ourselves and how to respect that another person is accepting and loving as well. Thank you. Okay, so this deck was borrowed from Kalia. She is a wise wisdom woman, and I was using and borrowing them. Thank you for her. Thank you for Kalia's words of wisdom. She has beautiful decks if you're interested. You can actually contact her through the links here as well. I would think she would like to do some readings too. I'm not sure though, but I'd borrowed the deck from her to actually show her some stage support here, right? Alright, I'll leave the oracle, these telepathy oracle cards out. I may use them again or any one of these, and I'm going to pull out some other decks. Alright, so Kitty, you would like a reading. A lot of emotions come out, yes. I am extending our self-love to someone else. We are extending that. We are doing that here in this chat because we see the unconditional love within ourselves and therefore unconditionally love everyone here in this chat, right? Because we're accepting of their path and where they're going. Yes, she is protected. That's for Carol, yes. Yes. Um, what we're seeing emotion-wise, and I know Kitty, because you said emotion-wise, we're in this right now where our shadows are being presented to ourselves. The lies are coming up, right? The untruths. So this is something I'm going to ask. When you view anything outside of yourself, I go into it trusting nothing at first, right? Trust nothing, trust no one at this, but ask yourself, wherever the information is coming from, whatever you're watching, is it a truth? Is it a belief? A belief is something that may or may not be true, whereas the truth just is the truth, right? If I pick something up and go, here's this card, we see it's a card, right? But if you say it's a card and it's this, it may be all those, but it's still a card, right? I'm still Rose, however somebody sees me, however somebody chooses to see me, is their perception of it. But I'm still Rose, and that's the truth in it. Their belief, it's not invalid, but it's a belief, right? It's therefore not the entire truth. It's just a piece they're looking at because we all see fractals. We all are in fractals. To the common person, unconditional love is real. It's the conditions, especially 3D conditions when we're in it, that are put on top of us. So for a common person, for a person who's stuck in a world of conditions, they're going through worlds of judgment, just as the cards are, because they're only limiting themselves with the judgments or conditions put on them, and therefore judging from that rose-colored glasses. They're from that perspective. They're not able to take the extra step sometimes. Yep, because most people have restrictions on themselves how they can do anything. Alright, so for Kitty, I have the Animals Divine deck. I feel like with these emotions coming up, it's a shedding, but it's also an acceptance. Most people think you have to kill the ego, kill the shadow. It's not killing it. It's these things in the ego, these little child wounds, their inner child wounds, fears of abandonment, fears of feeling not good enough, fear of not, we're looking in the future when all we have is now. But all of these are coming up not because we're killing them or getting them out of us. We're actually showing them love, right? You can even give them names. You can give grief a name, right? You can say it's green for grief. You can give them names in which to personify those feelings and then work with them and work through them, right? Ask it why it's there. Okay, so I'm going to pull out. I don't want to fly out, so. That one wanted to stick. How's that sound? I'm going to do 3 for you. I'm going to do 2 from here, and then I'm going to do from a different deck. Okay, so I have all the animals. Again, I have all the animals for Kitty. This is the Wheel of Fortune. It's all the animals. It's in this upside down position, meaning we are kind of going on the other side of the hump of the wheel, right? We're on the influx side of the wheel. We're on the shadow aspects of ourselves, but also the world, because again, the wheel is representing the outward stuff, right? It's not just the mundane. This is stuff. This is number 10, right? A new beginning. This is the stuff in the outward world that doesn't work for us as we navigate through them, and then we're being asked to go, okay, what can we utilize to work for us? That is the funny thing. Yes, sobbing and being grateful. I can actually empathize with you on it, because I also was in a mode of being completely grateful. Especially when something that you turned down. I'll give you a little example. I turned down a bit of an offer, and turned it down, and they did it anyway. And I wasn't expecting much of anything, and the amount that was offered, that was given, that the gift itself, because I wasn't expecting it, because I wanted to do for myself, was overwhelming. So it was feeling grateful, and then having somebody that would normally not see the value in what we're doing here finally see that, especially somebody close. It brought a lot of tears, right? To be like, okay, it wasn't the object that was being gifted, it was the message that came with it. So, like I said, this is the wheel card, so like the Wheel of Fortune card within a deck. These are all the animals here, and this is your universal card. This is the cycle of change, the opportunity for growth due to change in fortune. And fortune doesn't have to always be monetarily. There are all the animals here, so we're talking about the whole of this. I know, thank you. You know why you feel sad? Sometimes we're watching the birthing happening of something new. And again, we have the Three of Swords here. So we have the vulture. It's upside down as well. So it's, instead of looking for things to pick up, it's cutting this away to bring us back to our roots. So if you can, like Bucky's asking, understand why you feel the sobbing, or if it's just releasing. We're releasing because we are watching the old paradigm shift. We're watching people shift, the conversation shift, right? The programming shift. We're not in this program anymore. So we're watching all of this shift in the collective and in our interactions, in our perception around us. Hello, good day to you as well. It's nice to be here as well. So again, all of these elements, think of all the elements within the wheel, all of them, right? All the animals, all the animal kingdom, all the 3D world, all the plants, all the the creatures, all the different perspectives that we're viewing here. This wheel is turning, it is shifting. So sometimes even the version of us that is hanging on to old paradigm, what we build our identity around, it is starting to go, wait, this is false. This where we hang on to our identity. Sometimes we think that just because I paint and therefore can be a painter doesn't mean that is all that I am, right? It doesn't mean the same for you. It's just because you're able to, you're being this profound person who's a mother, who's a caretaker, it doesn't mean that is just you, right? You're just not the one piece. So, oh man. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to express as a child, so I also empathize with that as well. So I never asked for help. I had something else on the alternative of this where it was, it's not asking for help. It was when I'd asked for help, it usually came with something else. Usually came with a condition. That therefore, if I asked for help, then there's something I owe back, and it was therefore not unconditional, right? So even taking that in, I didn't want to take that in as well. Can I be a story? Sure you can. Are you not a story? Are not each one of us a story here? Okay, so I have the vulture here and the Three of Swords. I have mental turmoil. This is sadness connected to past events, lack of communication, and possible relationship troubles. This is reversed though, so this is something that is in and now, but you're also have going through. It's reversing itself. The wheel is reversing, right? The fortune is there. It is coming in, but the fortune isn't in a 3D. It is in your being. That's what I'm picking up on here. So instead of this, we have the vulture on top of the tree, right? Vulture usually picks up the pieces, again, looking at the past of things. These are three different Three of Swords in a way. So these are three different choices. These are three different cuts. These are, I'm getting even just like the childhood, like we're talking about this, not asking for help, always not having the support there for you. And that puts you more in this survival mode, right? This very much go-getting mode. So this preoccupation with the past, the sorrowful events, it's sometimes brings up these emotions to well. It is, I'm going to say this, it's okay to feel these emotions, right? We're here to have the experience. Because if we didn't have any of these experiences of emotions at all, we wouldn't be alive, right? You wouldn't have that a gnosis of it, the self-awareness of ourselves. You can barely hear me. I can turn it up on my end. I just don't. I have it down because I have a fan and stuff going on. So I can turn up the volume a little bit if that helps. Does that help a little? I just don't know how much background noise you guys are going to hear. Okay. So this is also about relationship. I feel like a lot of relationships have fallen away from you in a way, and right now they're not. They're coming back in, right? Instead of these three divergent paths and three divergent wounds, this feel like abandonment kind of issue has been coming up. And again, because, well, nobody's going to do it better than you, so you're going to go do it yourself. Yes, we don't express emotions, react to them instead, then we are a prisoner of the emotion itself, right? It pulls us around, it moves us. So instead of being reaction, we can be responsive. We can take a moment and actually feel it, right? So I'm going to use another deck for you. I'll do the Akashic deck. Holy, look who's there, Bucky. It's funny because you said Bucky Road instead of Reed. You're going through, yeah, these purging, it's not a purging of emotions. It's, again, you're going through feeling them, right? The expression of them, the repression of them. You've held them in, you've had them cut, they were inside of you. And as the cards when I had them earlier, right? You are good enough. Hold that inside of you, right? Know your worth on this. You have the experience. You're not actually separated. You are supported. The universe supports you as well. We have the 5 of Scrolls, diversity. So change coming in. Scrolls are what you're writing. It's also a woman learning. You're going to be learning new, not in a way lessons. These are new skills coming into your space, but you're in control of this. So there's also, I'm getting, even though you're in control of this and you're writing this scroll, this is you writing, this is your intention being put out so that you actually take the action. So you can flow into it as well, and you don't have to control it. It's something that if you require the information, it will come to you. That book will be there. This is you creating your own space. You have done this. And I do see that relationships are going to flow back in. That communication is going to open up. This is where the end of it happened with the 3 of Swords being upside down. Back to me, I was a little sobbing. That I couldn't sob before, if that makes sense. Yes, there's repression of the energy. And I would dare take a stab that it affects their nervous system. Or it has. Because I feel you releasing that. Kind of feel like sometimes you get this stiffness in your body where it's like, okay, you repress it, you put it out, you put it in a box somewhere, threw it and compartmentalized it, and so when the energy is being washed over you, it gets stuck in spaces, so you're not able to some huge cards, thanks Bucky. So you're not holding, you're holding it in, let it out, right? Even if it's ugly crying at this point, because you're releasing stuff that you don't have to carry. It's no longer yours to carry anymore. Yeah, some areas of the body, it's manifesting pain. When this one came out. So we have 4 of Roses, so the emotion part upside down. The views of ego. You're carrying things from other people on their views of ego, of themselves, like I drew earlier, onto you, right? You're judging yourself based off of somebody else's ego version. They're not able to understand themselves. So those emotions you're holding on to, you don't require to hold them onto them anymore. That's your wheel of abundance. The abundance coming in being upside down here is not in a 3D. It will come after. But it's the abundance in the soul to let go of now what you're holding on to. A lot of pain in our bodies is from repressing the emotions, or from being afraid of it, or from not addressing it and not self-reflecting in it. Yeah, caring for those emotions for someone else. Even, I know you could be, again, as a caretaker, as a mother, that you want to be able to help your children express those emotions too. And sometimes you want to keep them from feeling the pain. So you take that pain on in ourselves. The best thing is to actually teach them, and I believe you're an amazing teacher for this, Kitty, is to actually teach them how to express the feeling themselves, or go through it, right? Sit with them. Hence the pain in the body from the strain on that load, yes. I feel like you're very in an overwhelming space, and so sometimes you need the space to sit and cry, to sit and let it out, to be like, oh my god, everything's getting thrown at me, I'm taking care of what I have, it's sitting on you. Even the neck and shoulder pain, right? Of not on. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to have somebody else shuffle for a minute and pull cards. That one's for Kitty, so I'm going to do a collective. If anybody else has another reading, I know there's 5 people in here.
There's a card.
Thank you. I have embrace. Embrace what fate has in store for you. Oh, okay, Carol, I'll get to you as well. So embrace what fate has in store for you. So as a message for you, Kitty, we also have the embrace what fate has in store for you. We have this also in a collective sense. Again, the wheel card on here was also speaking out as within, so without. It's a worldly card, right? It's not a major or minor arcana card. It's a major arcana card. So it's talking about in the world sense. No worries, Kitty. Thanks for sharing out too. Thanks for jumping in here. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna actually start with this one because I also think this goes in with Carol as well. So, baby has small hole and heart. There's a family of 3. Okay, so talking about family dynamic. The healing in the heart space for the baby, it is something that will heal. The healing of the 3, so I'm getting, I'll use I'll use her role in this as being an older sibling is going to help to have the space to interact and allow the baby to also grow as well. And I don't believe it's going to be just a family of 3 for long either. Again, embrace what fate has stored for you. These roots went very deep, right? The roots connected to you, Carol, and your family. Those roots go deep because of the compassion and heart space you're holding right now. So I'm going to put out here, I want to use the rubber back to. I don't believe it's going to be just a family of 3 at this point. I still feel like somebody else is coming in. I feel that the mother that we know who that is actually taking a step up. It was a gauntlet running away, right? So I have 10. I have a new beginning. I also have harvest, also signifying where an actual time period could be, right? We're going into a fall season anyway. We're slowly getting and traversing through. You also have the Jack of Diamonds. So you have this message of a new beginning and abundance coming in. Funds coming in. They're not something to worry about. Coming in for mom. Yes. Yep. They're coming in for the mom. It's a new beginning. It's in a way a harvest. So again, reaping what you sow. So what was planted. The fortitude that she has in going through this gauntlet allowed, again, the separation of the wheat from the chaff, it allowed for this strong to grow. It allowed for the seed to grow. It allowed for strong fruit to be bared. So, like I said, having a small hole in the heart, sometimes, again, you have children that are born with a defect in a way, right? A heart murmur. Some of us grow out of it. Some things we all have healing that we can do in it as well. So we can also put in healing intention. You're in a safe space in here to help heal and bring that soul into a safe space to heal. The older sibling is a healer as well. Very profound in what she says. So I do see somebody else still coming in. Somebody more supportive because mom's stepped in the role. She stepped in herself. Yes, children to manifest. Children come in and we know that the older sibling does, right? So it is now, the baby is out of the space that is stressful. It was born into a space that was stressful, this gauntlet running away. It is coming out of that space, so now that they're able in their being, in their soul being, to actually heal themselves, but also heal mom, right? Heal mom, heal the relationship, heal the scars that were there because of the issues, again, of abandonment. I feel like a lot of times she was pulled into certain things that was out of her alignment. It was tugging on her one way and the other. A lot of stress from mom, which was obviously affecting children, right? It was affecting the siblings on this. Let me go through and see if I can get one more on here. lot of people are actually they're already in that. So manifesting as a group, collective manifesting. Like I said, the people that are in this reading right now, we also can collectively manifest again, safe harbor, safe birth, as in a boat, BERTH, right? And birthing. Yes, she has gained strength through this. Yes, it was his karma that have infiltrated this family. Yeah, again, what we were talking about earlier about holding on to somebody else's pain, right? You can have children birthed into the world, and because they're both sides of this, you can take on generational karmas on this. But this is, as we know, as Carol, you know, that we are the generational breakers of this karmic line, right? Of these curses, if you want to say it, but of the trauma that's happened. So we don't have to carry it into this space. With the way that the timelines are shifting right now, the energy shifting, a lot of what is being birthed now is something to anchor in and carry in the new timeline shifts, but also to help people understand them. I actually do, because I don't, yeah, he's going to be removed permanently, yes. There's, what you're seeing is a lot of people that are causing harm to someone else, and even if they're in the face of knowing that they're causing the harm, it's phasing out. They're taking themselves out in a way, right? They're just resonating right out of this. So they're no longer relevant in that situation. If they're going to cause harm to somebody, and if they know that they're in a place of pain, and you point it out and you say, okay, stop for a second because you're causing harm with your pain to someone else, that if that keeps continuing, even knowing that they are and they don't want to self-reflect, the universe itself is going to push it out. It's going to make sure that this person learns this lesson, right? Or take themselves out in a way. I don't see this person, I don't see the father being something very prevalent in the child's life right now. It's caused a lot of stress, like you said, on a family right now, even in every aspect, not just in spiritual, but in an actual physical space. So I don't feel like this is something that it's not going to be allowed. It's almost this blockage. We had that boundary card up earlier. These boundaries are being placed in by spirit itself. I'm going to actually take what's on the bottom on here. So here we have masculine. This card is upside down. This means that this person could not take in. They wanted to force themselves in this space. This is 28, which would be 10, which is a new beginning. They wanted to force themselves into this space. They were looking for, in a way, love. They were lonely. It was very greedy. It was very hanging on to. And they did it through the Ace of Hearts, right? They did it through the heart space. They took advantage of her heart space, mom's heart space. No, she won't be aligned with him. She's not. It's not. There's no alignment. She's starting to see the truth. That is what you're feeling as stress. It's the realignment happening. So all these pieces are getting moved out of the way. This person wanted a place or space. Yes, 100% what he did. He wanted a space there and pushed his way onto a seat that wasn't his, and he did it by taking advantage of the heart space. It was in a way manipulative, but it was because of this person's own pain. They're looking for love, so they went and sat in a seat that wasn't theirs and used any 3D tool to do so and didn't care who they were hurting to do it. So again, the outward judgment in a way. Yes, he preyed on her. So again, Spirit's not going to allow that, especially with a baby in this. The entire family's protected. We are seeing the truth come out. That truth does realign people. It does cause a bit of shifting within the space. So I see this coming more in, and I got the fall harvest card in the fall. So we have the harvest card right now. You guys are northern hemisphere, so we're going into the fall season pretty soon. So all of this is coming out, and even 10, right? I'm talking, you can even be September at this way. So I normally don't put times on there because we're not, all time's happening now. But Spirit is moving very swiftly with this one, this particular one. This has been, like I said, a gauntlet run for a lot of light workers. And a lot of people are coming to you for holding that space, Carol, and I see that your stress in this can be stressful to you. Also, thank you for Kalieth for drawing a card and allowing us to have her words of wisdom here.
You're welcome.
Hmm. She speaks. She's disembodied voice. So, again, yeah, he's preyed on her. It's not happening anymore. And if I take the top card, so this is what Spirit's doing, because this is the bottom card. This is what you don't see. It's been working on the other side. On the top card, we have 31, 4, so 4D. You're still in a 4D quantum space. An Ace of Coins, the abundance. It's what was taken away by this masculine. It's being brought into light. This is the Sun card here. Right out into the light right now. So what's coming is everything that has been, even the financial stuff, all of it is being brought in light. It's going to be dragged into light. And not even from the current situation, I'm getting from the past. Whatever he did in the past is going to be coming out into the light, like now, right? It's enough of the injustice going on. Yes, freedom is. And in a way, we've been, and I don't know how many people are in here, like you can ask the question, we are living in 5D freedom with the 3D world is not caught up with that. It's not keeping up with it, right? So it feels confining, but we already know we're free. And there are plenty that are still in it, that the canary cage is open, the canary's just sitting there because they're afraid to take the steps. Because we've been conditioned to look at all the conditions and limitations instead of looking at all the stuff that is limitless, if that makes sense. All right, thank you, Carol. I don't know how long I'm going to go for. It says 41 minutes, so I'm going to do one more card from here, from Clea's desk. She has graced us with her words of wisdom. Collective manifest, group manifest. We are going to group manifest here. We're putting protection on your situation, bring clarity, light on that situation as well. We know fate-wise, again, we've known that by sitting in the energy that we're sitting in, all of us here in this chat, anybody coming in here, by sitting in this 5D energy, we've known our soul's already reached a space beyond the 3D. So in a way, we're just stepping into it in the 3D. We're waiting for it to catch up. We're watching it catch up. We can take certain steps to help it progress to catch up, right? Yeah, his past is coming out in the light with this, because Spirit's not putting it, especially the monetary finance, it's coming, all of it is out in the light. It will be shocking, I say, but more on to that person, and it will straighten everything out. So here's the strength one. The power of love is like a magnet drawing souls together. So again, the love space in here, that's the anchor space. That's all the soul space, right, that we're in. As it's the strength card we have in this. 5D, unconditional love. 4D is the time, which is kind of not there. It's the quasi-state in between. The 3D is what we see as the limitation, what we see. But close your eyes deceive you, right? So this is the strength we have within our collective. This here is a collective that we're in. Anybody that shows up in here, anybody that's in this chat is a collective. We are also connected to the bigger collective, the world collective, right? We are also connected to Source Collective, which is the stuff we don't see in the world, but we feel if we go through this all blind, right? If we trust our third eye. So all of that is where our strength lies, is knowing that we are connected always. There's no separation. When somebody puts the condition on you that you are separate and individual, or divides you, it's because they are limited. That is something we don't go for, right? You need to do this, and you have to. It's not what we're going through, right? It's not who we are. We're not limited. We are limitless. So anybody using even a 3D condition to limit us, Spirit will not go for. It will be a lesson that will come back on them. It will be something to, in a way, test us to step up, the wheat from the chaff, to be like, no, enough, right? I think her motherly instinct, that maternal instinct, is really going to kick in to help propel this out, to propel this forward. Thank you, Carol, for jumping into. Oh, I'm deep. Deepest gratitude to you, and like I said, everybody that came in, Kitty and such, because we're all in this together, right? We're all here together. So, how are we accepting even of ourselves, but also the fact that we get to have an experience together, whatever that is. It's still an experience. It's still learning. It's still to learn to get to the part that is love in all of this. And if it's hurting, why? Is it somebody lacking the love within themselves? Alright, we're gonna do a collective read until I see anybody else pop in, or if anybody else wants another question or whatnot. I did share out for a few places. I just figured I would share some of the wisdom. So, here was one that was sitting on top. Do you know all my strengths? And I'm using them. The strength card. We all have superpowers, but it's up to us to uncover them. When we live and lead with our strengths, we are able to show up in the zone of genius. This inspires others to do the same. So ask yourself, how can I use one of my soul's gifts today to contribute to this open and ready world? So in a way I'm also in a way doing that. I'm just, how can I contribute here, right? What is it that would help bringing messages through? How is it that we as a collective, energetically, we are connected to help each other, right? We are one and the same, so me hurting you would be me hurting myself. So me helping you is also helping ourselves, right? Same. Oh, we had all these cards pop up. This one's a journey card. Alright, so I'm going to go with the journey card. Here we go. So we're going to do a collective read. So as a past card, we have a journey. I don't even think this would be a past card. This currently we're going through is what we're talking about. 7 of Roses. We have a chakra alignment. 7 of Emotions, right? We also have the journey. So experiencing the journey with more people. This is on a harbor that has many people collectively putting their boats together. They're getting the merchant stuff out. It's a trip being taken. We are going through this journey, this symphony together. So again, we're all in this same boat, right? We're in the same ocean. Some of us may not be in the same boat, but we're in the ocean together, right? And there's different layers of the ocean. There's different perceptions. There's vibrations. There's different experiences in this wide, vast symphony, this orchestra, the cosmic ocean that we are in. Alright. I know it's also middle of the day. I don't remember what time I have. I have 2 o'clock? It's 2 o'clock here. I know people are in different time zones. So I'm going to I got a couple cards here. We're going to go with what's the best even paradigm? Like we're in this paradigm. What's the best way we're going to go right in this. Because we're in different sorting spaces for our own self. We're in our own mirrors on this. We're in our own state of getting what we manifest in a way. So for the collective, what is it that is coming in the days ahead even on it, but also what is it that we're going to be dealing with? So I'll ask that question. Normally I don't really ask questions today. We are. So we have another Ace of Cups. This one's upside down. This is the seal, the playful energy. This is, it goes with a lot earlier, the repression of even the playful creative energy. It's being in a way in the ocean, but it's in the way, it's a non-distinguishable between the creative energy and the 3D right now. So a lot of people are going, wait a second, I don't have the ability to, they have the ability to create, but they're feeling in the 3D that they're in the thick of the ocean, right? Sometimes we're seeing this, how do we get to the place of play in our heart? Because what we see and feel going around us, the experiencing we're going through, it's something that is sticky. It's very tar-like. It's very, like, it's kind of like when you get gum stuck on the bottom of your shoe, or that you're peeling, like, marshmallows stuck in between your hands. It's sticky. It's thick. It's not undoable. It's not like we can't do it. It's just that it's conglomerate and smashed with other things. So finding that peace point as we go through these waters, and knowing we're not alone. This is an ace, but it has 2 seals in it, right? A love offer, right? The unconditional love, that cup. It has more than 1 seal. You're in the ocean. We are together on it. So it is knowing that we are never alone. We are in the now. We are also the ocean itself. We are the seals in the ocean, the cups in the ocean, the water in the ocean. You are the plankton in the ocean, right? And all the spaces therefore in between, and even the surface of the ocean and the air above it that is holding the tension between one water and the next, right? In a way, water and air are very much similar in the way that they move. Actually, I don't want to take this one out. We're going to take the element, because as I was talking about air and water, they flow, right? One is just a different flavor of air or water than the other. The way of flowing, different density. It's just like the density of dimensional layers, and we can think in more dimensional layers. And I say this because it is very much matrixing system, right? It's a holographic image. It will take your emotions and project them around you and create your reality space based on your emotions you feel and see now, right? So you take the variables from today, whatever it is, whatever you're experiencing, seeing, you go to sleep at night or take a nap, and you have the ability in that space, in that astral space, to create, to go through these emotions, to bring them into your being. And then, as like I said, truth or belief. If you put something that is inside of you that isn't truth, and you operate like it's truth, and it's a belief, like believing that something is that it's not, then you're operating off of something that's a lie. And then you bring it into your being, your core, the code that you're running off of, and then it's almost like a corruption. It's like an asteroid on you. It drags you down until you're able to identify it, right? So the best thing is, in a way, to kind of go through the world detached, not detached from people, but to understand you're having an experience, but it doesn't become you, right? The experience itself, it's a learning tool for us, but it doesn't have to become us and our surroundings, and we don't have to keep carrying it with us, every experience we've had. There's waves of it that we can go through, we can explore. Just like this Ace of Cups, it's unconditional, right? So what it's asking us, look at the conditions being proposed around us. What are the conditions we're being dragged under the ocean with? What is somebody else even offering as a new beginning that may be a condition, but those conditions don't meet anymore? This is total immersion, right? So we have new beginning. It's on its way, it's 3. So in the 3D space, we have beginnings of the east, sun coming up. This woman here, she's holding a portal space. Very much sun-like energy in the east. It has the compass cardinal directions on it. And she's sitting at the doorway letting the light to filter in, right? She's also recognizing it within ourselves. This card was upside down. It doesn't mean it's not happening. It means it's on its way to, in the 3D. And it may take a little bit in the 3D because the way time is conditioned here is not the same as the astral space. How many people have no concept of time in astral space, right? You go to sleep and you're dreaming, and you can live an 80-year life in a dream with all the memories. And there's been times when I've walked through that myself, and yet wake up and it was an hour nap, right? And yet it felt like 80 years, because time doesn't exist in those spaces. So we're watching the 3D conditions, this new beginning coming in from the east, this new birth, this new sun, as Bucky had said earlier, a new sun. We're watching a new sun in a way rise, right? We're watching a new light come in, and we're watching the 3D shift around us as the collective starts to walk into this. A lot of us may be feeling a lot of the body pains because, as like I was saying with Kitty, it's going through you. For me, I've been feeling like, and I know a few others, like jumper cables, right? Like somebody's got them attached to you, and yet almost feeling like you're drunk and vertigo without having to take anything or do anything. It can be very blissful if you allow it to feel it and happen, or put it into something that is art or creative or dancing, like from earlier. And then there's times when you want to be intellectual about it, and it's basically in a way telling you, take the moment to not be intellectual about it, feel it, right? Because how much can you get aggravated with feeling like you're drunk and you want to do something intellectual? You want to go out and actually take the moment, take the walk, take the steps, right? Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Jerry, for coming in. I know it buffers a bit. I know there's a lot of energy going through. I'm going to do one more card from here. I'm actually going to just from the bottom right now. Atoms and building. This is 40, which is your 4D, 40, right? We are building in an astral space. We have been, and it's coming into a 3D space, right? So new sun coming up. Thanks, Jared, for popping. Thanks, you guys, for popping in. I'm going to keep going. I just wanted to put a like on his. So we're going to do that. It is buffering a little on my side. It's very laggy. So we have this atoms and building. We have these boats. Here's the oceans again, right, on the waters. We also have, again, building the 3D space itself, the matrix space itself, right? The emotions that are leaving it afloat. We even have these. It's hard to see on this particular card. These are orbs in here, but a lot of them look like little globes, little worlds, right? What pieces are you bringing into your world? So these little globes are coming in, right? We also had 38, which is 11 underneath. And it's mystery, dark matter. So this part we don't see, right? You also have that balance coming in. So the transformation here. We have it all kind of, it's just floating in right now. It's also being very careful and balanced on how we are viewing the world, but our thoughts and emotions. To not be reactive as much, but to be responsive, right? How many people don't actually sit and listen, and just sit and listen, and don't respond, just sit and listen, and then formulate something after? How many people are put on the spot to get a yes and no answer now, right? Instead, take the time, like we have the boundary cards earlier, take the time to say, okay, I may not know the answer now. I do not want to be forced into a yes or no when there could be another option. So I'm taking that time to figure that out, and I will get back to you. You're okay with taking your time. Yes, being the observer in this. Here's an experiment that anybody coming in here, if you're watching, when you wake up in the morning, it's okay to have the emotion, right? It's okay to feel emotion. When you wake up in the morning, try practice viewing your day as if you're an alien dropped into this and none of this has any context to you, right? What is this card, right? Why does a person think it's normal to wear pants and somebody wear a dress, right? Ask why those things are there. Ask the question why. Okay, why? And then view it, experience it as if it's all brand new, like you have no clue, you dropped in the video game today. Don't adhere to the past, because we have no guarantee that yesterday happened other than if something physical still came into our space today, but other than the observation of it, the memory of it, yesterday is yesterday, right? And so if you look at it as if you're experiencing all new in this moment, everything is all brand new in this moment. So that is the question with the two paintings you see on the side of me. What kind of world do you want, right? Think anything. Start at the start, build a masterpiece. Just start with one step, right? Be the observer in this. And thank you for that. That was good. A good comment. A lot of even, and I'm going to throw this out there. I've been working on a bit of a painting on smaller ones. I'm kind of redirecting, working on many different things and platforms right now. So I'm asking, there's an art gallery I have up. I don't have all the paintings in there. If anybody knows me, I have more than 70 pieces, right? You can go in there and view what's in there. I'm also working with other software to superimpose some of the images you see because they connect together. But if there's a particular music that you want to watch me paint and put out, make a suggestion. You can throw it in here, right? If there's particular playlist even, go ahead and throw it in here. I'm all for being inspired by your stories. It will connect. I will connect to whatever you're going through, and we can go from there, right? There could be other merchandise that I could throw it on if you're interested. You could put it on a cup. I have mugs available. Or just view it in the gallery. It's yours, right? So what kind of world do you want to see? What kind of creation process do you want to be a part of? And on top of it, you're a creator too. Realize that you are a creator in this world. So you have validity, you have worth, you have value. Just because somebody may not see the value of, or they're assigning value to somebody else over one or the other, doesn't mean it doesn't have a value. Everything has purpose here, and just because we don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose, right? It may be for somebody else. Alright, so I'm going to end with some stuff, unless somebody jumps in. And I know there's 5 watching. I'm one of them, so technically 4. I feel like I missed somebody when I was sharing out, but I just popped wherever I could. I think I threw it even on a group page somewhere. I'm going to do one from here and then one from the Soul Truth, which is Kalia Fistech, which you've heard earlier. She was making comments into it. May actually help to set up something with her if she wanted to do her own live, if she just wanted to speak. Alright, so we had 2 cards pop out. I will use them. I'll take those in, and I will do one from the Strength card here, the Soul Truth card. And then, like I said, whatever suggestions you guys, even topics you want to talk about. If you want to talk about energy, you want to talk about what you're seeing in the 3D world. I don't pay attention much to news. If it's there, I will look at it and tell you what's can be done with it. We can talk about that. That's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. If there's any, like I said, if you want to view smart, you want suggestions on it. Also, if you guys are interested, we have a newspaper kind of up and going. If you want to write for it, write your experience, write what you're seeing, what you want to see. You're more than likely to help submit. You can throw it in here. You can put it as an email. I think I have my email up on one of these, on the section on the page. If you want to advertise what you guys are doing, you can use this as a platform as well. It doesn't bother me. And like I said, if you want private readings, then just message me. Okay, so we're going to do one from here. I can get one out. Apparently this one wanted to come out. It stopped in my hand. Okay. Still, was this the one we had earlier? Nope. Okay. Alright, so we have 8. You are worthy. This common theme. Aim for what you want and believe in yourself. We have 37. So we have a new beginning. Feel and release. Release all you've accumulated on this journey. A lot of us, again, we go through the experience and we become the identity of the experience itself. When it's an experiencing that we're going through. It's like watching a movie, right? Each aspect in our life is a part, like that's a movie. Each experience is a part in a movie, our own movie that we're in. So, can you imagine if you had every movie downloaded into your head ever? That's a lot of clutter, right? And then if you're holding on to every emotion done in that movie, whether it be a horror film or a rom-com, any one of those, can you imagine holding on to every single one of them and making it your identity? That's a lot to carry. Okay, so to whom am I comparing myself right now? What you are able to see in another is only visible because it is within you. So again, perception. Ready to be bought out, shine light on this feeling of not enough and see the truth. All that you need and want is within you. Today, stop comparing and start creating. So, as I was saying earlier, start creating. I know a rom-com. I don't even like. It's not my personal preference. So, it's a movie. It's an experience.